Where I'm standing right now is a nature preserve managed by the Lake County Water Authority. Let's take 3 steps this way. Now I'm at a landfill. The United States Geological Survey, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Lake County Water Authority, and a private environmental engineer all told me water from the Wolf Branch sink drains straight into the aquifer. Lake County Commission Chair Leslie Campione took me to the county-run lake called Wolf Branch Sink and to see the neighboring private landfill for myself.
Common sense tells you this really should not be going on here.
The City of Mount Dora's Public Works had a consultant test the water at Wolf Branch Sink and found 2 notable chemicals. The levels of acetone were double the amount the EPA considers acceptable, and butanone, also called MEK, that's a volatile solvent found in gasoline, also exceeded levels the EPA considers acceptable. You can see the waterfall right behind me. That water drains out this way, coming through until it reaches the point where you can see over there, the water starts to look still. That's the point where it's draining down into the aquifer. That means the Floridan Aquifer, the main source of drinking water for 10 million people, according to the USGS, is especially susceptible to contamination in this exact spot. Based on the landfill's own findings, we know some degree of contamination is happening. It's just a matter of whether any of it is getting into the aquifer.
So this is a problem, and it's got to be stopped.
Mid-Florida Materials, the company that owns the landfill, had a consultant conduct groundwater tests by the sink. They found benzene and methane in amounts exceeding the primary drinking water standard set by the FDA. The EPA has no set amount of methane in drinking water it considers acceptable. So where is that coming from? Mid-Florida's hired engineers concluded, quote, landfill gas is likely impacting the well. And that's the water the county fears could seep into the sink and then the aquifer. This issue came to the attention of Justin Elkins, the Associate Director of the Lake County Water Authority, which maintains water quality and conservation, and Bobby Bonilla, the Executive Director of Lake County Parks and Water Resources. They both noticed what Elkins says are clear signs of flooding by the landfill, an eroded berm and damaged silt fence. They worried that could send water streaming from the landfill to Wolf Sink.
We located this area here along this berm, and we found that there was possible seepage of surface water to groundwater. At that point, we elevated that notice to the state.
That's when Commissioner Campione got involved. She wrote to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, which oversees the landfill, asking them to revoke Mid-Florida's license. And she wrote to Hubbard Construction, the company that owns Mid-Florida Materials, saying, quote, ceasing operations at this location immediately is the right thing to do.
They didn't seem to be concerned, and that's when we started to think, if they're not concerned about that, then we better start taking a look at how this has been reviewed throughout this process.
Commissioner Campione wants to do more thorough testing to see if the aquifer is impacted, but the landfill and FDEP are not playing ball. So she asked an environmental engineer who the county was already contracting with to come out and take a look.
What they have done could not be worse.
Turns out he's been studying the Wolf Branch Creek for years, and he suspects contaminants could have been present as early as 2011. But the thing is, research into the risk isn't actually new information. The U.S. Geological Survey spent 4 years looking into the Wolf Branch sink, from 1991 to 1995, before the landfill was built. Those scientists concluded in 1996, quote, a contaminant spill in the basin could pose a direct threat to the aquifer. Despite warnings about the risk, the FDEP allowed development anyway. In 2019, the FDEP issued a permit allowing the landfill to expand.
I feel like we have such a responsibility to see this through, and I'm not going to quit.
To be clear, no one in this story is accusing Mid-Florida Materials or Hubbard of malfeasance here. The people I interviewed think they really just didn't know about the proximity to the sink and the risks that could come with it. But as I mentioned earlier, Chairman Campione wants the entire landfill shut down, and she wants remediation action to protect the aquifer. Devo disagrees. He just thinks the landfill should be moved further back.
I work for developers. I'm not an environmental fanatic or a freak, but I know pragmatic boundaries. I know lines we are not supposed to cross.
Fox 35 took all of these questions and concerns straight to Mid-Florida Materials and Hubbard Construction. We called and emailed each company. As of the time of this report, neither company has responded. The FDEP has said since February it's working on getting me an answer. As of right now, they still have not. As things stand now, the landfill is still set to grow. In Lake County, Marie Ettinger, Fox 35 News.